Good afternoon. Welcome to the meeting of the Hingham Municipal Light Plant Board, August 14th, 4 p.m. This meeting is being held remotely or in person as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025 and all other applicable laws temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You're hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. Is there anybody else who would like to record this meeting today? I don't see anybody, so we can just head right into the first agenda item, which is this is the time of year when we recalculate the solar credit for electricity that we buy from solar array owners, and Joan has completed the calculation for this year. You want to present it, Joan?
Sure, if I can unmute. Hold on.
You're muted. You're unmuted.
I know I can't.
We can hear you.
I have it
Right.
as well. Do you want me to share, Joan?
Sure, please. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Is
Yeah.
this the
Okay.
spreadsheet that says
Yep,
solar?
it says solar credit on it. I don't know if you make it any bigger.
Yep.
Basically what we do each year is we take all of our power costs and we subtract out our RECs and we determine what our credit's going to be to two different sources of customers. One is the people that have systems greater than 20 kW. And you can see right here, the credit for greater than 20 kW is going to go to 0.0404. Last year it was 0.036, so it's an increase of 0.0044.
How many people are greater than 20 kilowatts? I'm just curious how many customers have
Oh,
a larger
I-
system.
not a lot. I'd probably say 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
get that
Under
for
10,
if you
I'm
want.
pretty sure, right?
Less than
But-
10, yeah?
Yeah, but we do not ever sell, they don't sell anything to us. They're so big that they use everything they generate.
At the time of use? At the time of generation?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, in the second part of the spreadsheet, you can see for customers that are less than 20 kW, it's going to go to 0.00997.
Mm-hmm. Could you did this for me once, it was really helpful. Could you just slowly describe the calculation that you used to arrive at this? You could walk
Yeah,
us through the spreadsheet if you
It's
want.
pretty simple. For people with the larger units, we take all the renewables divided by the total kilowatt hours sold, all the renewables less our RECs revenue divided by the total kilowatt hours sold. And then for the people with the smaller, we take our total cost. So all of our power cost, subtract out our RECs and divide it by the total kilowatt hours sold.
And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, pretty simple.
So now I'm confused. By power costs, you just mean cost of energy?
Nope, capacity, transmission, distribution.
Okay, I'm very confused because I thought when we talked about it last year that okay, all right. That answers my question.
Yep. See right here, down
Yep.
the bottom, energy
Uh-huh.
cost, capacity, transmission,
Okay,
less our interest costs. That's our total cost for power.
less your interest costs?
Yep.
Interest on what?
That's interest that we pay through MWEC. I believe. I don't know.
Paid to us. It's probably the interest paid on funds
Oh.
held by ENE and MWIC.
Yeah, I get that number from ENE, but I don't know.
What?
The only thing, it's only in the New York, the only thing that's in that column is an entry for the New York project.
In what column,
NIPA, the
Laura?
NIPA on
The
the
interest
top.
cost column there, that is
Yeah.
the only entry in it.
Yeah,
But-
I don't know what that is. Tom, do you know what that is?
I don't,
Is it
Joe.
just, it looks like it's just NIPER, but
Yeah, well, that's the same number down below, so it has to be.
yeah.
So we don't know what that is.
No,
We
I can find out for
I'll
you
find
though.
out, yeah, we'll find out from Emily.
Okay. Right. Okay. Anybody on the board or staff have any comments or questions about the calculation?
I don't have a comment or a question about the calculation. I'm just curious about how many greater than 20 kW arrays there are versus less than 20.
I know it's less than 10, but I don't know the exact number. I can get it for you though.
I
Last I
know,
heard, we were up to about 120 smaller unit arrays. Is that right?
That's right.
Brianna, do you know the number? I don't know the number.
That's right. And I can probably find out in about 15 minutes for you how many are over 10 kW if you'd like to come back to
20?
it.
Do you mean 20, over 20 kW?
yeah,
Yes.
so we know Russell Electric and Whole Foods,
Yeah. And Fresh, is it
Fresh Market.
Yeah, Fresh Market. And it used to be TD Bank, but I don't know if they're up and running again.
So it's mostly commercial who
It's all
has the line.
commercial.
It's
Yeah.
all
It's
commercial.
all commercial.
Correct.
Okay.
So that 20 kilowatts is used straight away. They're not net metering at all with us.
Correct.
They
use it.
could, but I mean, clearly their base load is, even on a Sunday afternoon,
That's
is
correct. Yeah,
too
There is-
small.
There is at least one residential customer that's over the 20 kW and gets the lower rate.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Are we getting much feedback about the rate, the net metering rate? Are we getting any comments from customers?
I've had one this year. Some requesting that they want to know that why their bill wasn't zero if they were selling to us the same amount that they were producing. And
Correct.
I explained to them that it's retail versus wholesale.
I see that what we're looking at is a PDF, right, Joan? But you must have this must be a spreadsheet that you have, right?
Yep.
Would you kindly email me the spreadsheet?
Sure.
And then I would not have to ask. I could probably figure it out. Anything that's confusing.
I can do that.
Great. Any other questions or comments from the board or the staff? Is there anybody from the public who would like to ask a question or make a comment? I guess not. Okay, we're ready for our next item on the agenda, which is we were going to come back to the discussion of credit card charges. And I think, Joan, were you going to get some sense of what it costs us to underwrite people's charging on credit cards?
Yep. I have some numbers, which is awesome. Last year we paid a little over $113,000 in credit card fees.
$113,000.
Correct.
Okay.
But when I dug into it, I was surprised to find that it's almost a 50-50 between ACH and credit cards.
Yes, I see that. Yes.
Yeah, we had 35,000 in ACH and 39,000 in credit cards,
Yeah.
which I was really, really surprised to see. The credit card fees also get broken down differently. So we pay two different charges in credit card fees. We pay to Invoice Cloud, who's our credit card processor, and then we pay to Chase, who is the settler. Okay, Chase is the bank that settles all the fees. So Invoice Cloud charges us $1.60 per transaction for regular credit cards. They charge us 30 cents per transaction for ACH charges. Then when you go to customer deposits, they charge us.
So John, just to clarify, that's $1.30 more for somebody to pay for a credit card transaction versus an ACH.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to be clear on that.
Yep. Unless it's a customer deposit. If it's a customer deposit, they charge us 1.1% plus $1.50. Because we do take customer deposits on credit cards as well. Then the second part of that is the bank fee. The bank fee, every credit card is different, but it averages out to be by 0.3% per transaction.
On credit cards.
0.3%.
Yep.
Okay.
Of the amount of their bill.
Yes,
So we pay that. So, okay.
we pay that as well.
The
But that's
customer
all
doesn't
that's
pay
applicable.
that. We pay that out of their bill that they're paying.
Correct.
0.3%. Okay.
And
Yep.
30 cents is the only charge on the ACH side.
Via invoice cloud, yes, but on
Yeah.
the Chase side, it's all blended. Like I said, every type of credit card has a different fee associated with it.
Right.
I mean, they have,
Joan, how is Chase involved in a federal credit union ACH transaction to pay an invoice?
so a
If
federal
Invoice
credit,
Cloud is doing the invoicing. Why is Chase involved here?
because they collect the money.
So they collect it
They-
on credit cards and ACH transactions.
Correct.
And what
So-
percentage do they charge on ACH charges?
I just know it's 0.3% on total, because they gave me like a 30-page document of every single card and how much they charge on it.
Okay, yeah,
Every,
complicated.
they have interchange fees, they have assessment fees, they have payment tech fees. It's very, you can't break it down and say that for one credit card, it's one amount, and for ACH, it's another amount. Everything has a different association with the fee.
So when we do an ACH transfer, that's different by bank too?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, not through Invoice Cloud, but through Chase it is.
okay, now I'm confused again. When people do an ACH transfer, it's through Invoice Cloud and it costs 30 cents.
Through Invoice Cloud, yes, but then that money has to go to the bank. Okay, so all the money goes into Chase. So Chase has a fee associated with that as well.
Okay, also. Even if it was an ACH thing.
Correct.
And does that vary or is that the same for every transaction?
It varies as well.
Okay, so this is a very difficult question to answer, in short.
It's not black
How
and
much-
white.
how
Do we
much it
have to
costs.
use Chase?
I'm sorry?
Do we have to use Chase? Is there a more
No.
simple?
We were using
Solution here.
Sage before. And their credit card fees were a lot higher than these.
Okay,
So our two options are Sage and Chase. So Chase is the lesser of two evils.
okay.
And the
But
town
I
uses Chase.
assume Chase's fees are similar to the credit card to the ACH. You know, within a small amount of difference. What I'm seeing, the part that I'm seeing that I don't like is the difference between the 160 and the 30 cents.
via
I
Invoice
think that
Cloud.
the ACH fee is one of the cheapest around, whereas I've seen credit card fees that merchants are charged in like the 1%, 2%, and 3% range.
Right,
So the credit cards are much higher than the ACH.
right.
Yes. Yes, they are. And American Express, which we don't take, is the highest of all of them. So we take MasterCharge, Visa, and Discover.
Hmm. So, let me just ask, I know we talked about this a little bit last time, but what do you think is, the fact that we take credit cards and we don't charge a fee, what do you think, what impact does that have on people's willingness to pay or our, credits overdue or anything like that?
I don't think it has a significant impact just because we offer a discount. The 15% discount, I think, helps, collect our revenue every month. It
Mhm.
motivates people to pay early versus if they're paying with a credit card or versus a check.
Well, you get the 15% credit either way if you pay with credit card or or
Ye-
or a check?
Well, only if you pay by the discount, but some people, I think your question to me is, but people pay by the 15th of the month because they're using a credit card. Will they pay the 17th of the month if they can't use a credit card, or if they have to take it out of cash flow?
Mhm.
I mean,
And the answer is you think not.
no, because I think if we didn't take credit cards because of the discount, I think the 10% discount, I think they would still pay on time.
Mhm.
It's a convenience. To me, it's a cost of doing business. It's a
Mhm.
convenience for our customers.
I suppose if we knew how many bank transactions there were in the last year and how many credit card transactions, then we would know what the average cost of bank transactions are versus the average cost of credit card transactions, right?
Isn't it roughly 50-50?
Well, the
Well,
amount is 50-50, but what if, it's like 50 people paying their bills with credit cards and 300 with bank transfers? I mean, it's a question of what's the average cost.
Right, some bills are higher than
Mhm.
others, yeah.
Some bills are higher than others, and more people might be paying. How many people pay with credit cards and how many with bank transfers, do you think?
Well, that's about
Well,
50-50.
yeah, that's about 50-50.
It
I
is
gave you that number
in
earlier.
terms of the number of customers who do each of those things. That's
Correct.
50-50. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's does kind of simplify.
Yeah, 35 and 39,000 each
So what I'm
respectively.
learning is that the cost of taking a credit card is not then significantly higher than the cost of taking a bank transfer.
No,
Well,
it is.
It
Yeah.
is significantly higher.
Okay. So you said, Joan, say again for the last
Okay.
year, how much
I'm
bank
sorry, go ahead.
charge and how much credit card charge? What did we pay?
I don't have the breakdown, I have the total. But I can tell you what is per transaction. So,
At the beginning of this meeting, you said you were surprised at the breakout between credit cards and
correct, the number of
transactions.
transactions.
Oh,
The
the
number of
number of transactions.
transactions for
Okay.
credit cards, we had 39,000 credit
Okay.
card people use credit cards this year. We had 35,000 people use a bank card.
Okay, sorry, I was confused.
That's okay.
We were talking about the dollar amount, so it's about even.
And what I found out during this, when I wanted to dig a little deeper and find out with Invoice Cloud how many bank card transactions we had versus credit card transactions, the detail for fees, we realized that they did not charge us for our ATM transactions last year. So they started charging us as of this January. So I'll have another year, we'll have more detail. I'll be able to break it down more.
ATM transactions?
ACH, I'm sorry.
Oh, ACH, okay.
Yeah.
They didn't charge us at all.
Nope.
Oh,
So that'll
okay.
add about another $12,000 to the fee. So that'll bring us up to about
So,
105,000.
in short, we've increased ratepayers' cost by $12,000 by discovering that we weren't being charged, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. Let me ask Tyler, Mike, what do you want to pursue this some more in any way? Thinking about this issue?
The only thing I guess to think about would be just what the town does for your taxes, which is, you know, town charges everyone the ACH fee and it charges everyone the credit card fee too.
Yeah.
So you have to pay for that as opposed to the town.
Yeah,
had
but
some
it's
information on
not that it's only 50 cents, which doesn't even come close to
For an
covering.
ACH.
Not for credit cards. For credit
Okay.
cards, it's a percentage of the dollar amount being
Right,
paid.
right. And then for ACH is 50 cents.
Right. I do have those fees if you want to see them.
What the town does, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brianna, can you put up the town's credit card fees for me?
Yes.
And I spoke with Invoice Cloud about the fees, and they said that if we're going to charge the customer, pass it on to the consumer, that we should charge the same amount as the town. There's one more page that breaks out a little better.
Is it at the top of this page or the other file?
Top of this page. Right, here we go. Okay, I can stop go up a little bit more. A little bit more. Nope, the other way. I'm sorry. So here we are. So right here, so for credit card fees, so they're saying a minimum fee of $2.95. So that means if a person has a bill of $98.23, they're going to pay $2.95 or below. So that means that people below $98 is going to get hit with a higher percentage fee. On the far right-hand column, see the percentage, 2.99%?
Mhm.
That's what they charge of their total bill. So it's a minimum fee of $2.95 or 2.99%, whichever is higher. And down below, you have the ACH fees of 50 cents.
Mhm.
So
This is what
what
the town,
percentage of the townspeople paying their taxes pay by ACH versus credit card or
I don't have that. I don't have those
which,
numbers.
I mean, I would suggest that it would be very high percentage of ACH, or people are not looking at these numbers very closely. Personally,
Well,
I'm uncomfortable offering people a discount on their bill when we are incurring larger fees for processing their payments than we could if they were to take the time to set up an ACH transaction.
So are you saying that you feel like a discount is not appropriate for people paying with credit cards? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
I
As
am. And
opposed to,
that would incentivize people to pay by ACH and lower our overall costs and lower our rates to our ratepayers.
but how would you suggest we implement something like that? I don't think we have the ability to do that on our system. Whether you get your discount by method of payment, yeah, we don't have that technology.
Well,
I also think there might possibly be a legal issue around that, in terms of the way fees are charged by a town. It's supposed to be
it's a
connected to,
discount that's offered by payment by a certain date. So
right,
if you specify the way things should be paid, then that would incentivize people to switch from a credit card transaction to an ACH transaction. Alternatively, then we should pass through the fees and have a similar structure to what I'm seeing for the town. But the town is on a quarterly basis for property taxes, whereas we're on a monthly basis for our electric bills. So those per payments fees would soon add up over the course of the year.
Mm,
I mean, I think we need a way of incentivizing people to save us money on what we process to have the money to pay our generation charges and operating costs.
so I would like, well, if we're going to consider something like that, I would like to have a little more information. If we could just, can we learn, Joan, how
mhm.
much in total we have paid over the year in ACH fees and how much we have paid over the year for credit card fees so that we can divide the number of, to find out what the average cost of each is, then I would have an idea whether something like what we're looking at here makes sense or not. You know, what is the average cost of the credit card charge and what is the average cost of the ACH charge?
Okay,
Well, it's
they didn't charge us for the past,
60 and 30 cents, isn't it? Am I missing something?
that's through Invoice Cloud, correct? 30 cents through Invoice Cloud. They didn't charge us that in 2024. So that would have been another 12,000. So
Okay, so the average cost, so we know that if they had charged us, it would have
Yep.
been 30 cents per, but we don't know what the average cost of a credit card, what the average cost of credit card charges are, right? We just know it's much higher, but we don't know how much at the moment.
I can see if I can get that information. I'll have to dig, but I don't know. I don't know if Invoice Cloud will have that because they didn't charge us for it for the year. I can do the January, February, what's this? I can do January through to July of this year.
Okay, that works, you know, it just,
Okay,
Then just
Figure out-
scale it up to an annual basis.
yeah.
yeah, I can do that.
Because if we were going to consider putting fees on, I would want to know, well, what percentage of the cost to us are we covering with these fees?
Okay.
I wouldn't know how to know if the fee was reasonable unless I knew what the fees were that we were trying to cover.
Okay. I can do some digging and get that from January to
Okay.
July.
Okay. So Mike, you made one proposal, which was that people who pay with a credit card should not get the early discount. And Joan was saying that we don't have a mechanism by which we can, tag those bills to not get an early discount. We just don't have a mechanism in the software where we can do that.
Right, in the current billing system.
Yeah,
That
so
may be possible down the lines with our new system.
yeah,
I don't know, but it sounds discriminatory to me.
that's kind of what I'm wondering.
Mhm.
I just that when towns assess fees, they're supposed to be, have to do with services rendered, and as opposed to, well, I don't know, I guess it's about costs though, isn't it? If one person's bill costs more to collect than another one's, that is an appropriate fee.
I mean, we offer rebates and discounts and incentives for a reason, to promote the customer behavior that is best for everybody. I'm
Okay.
not trying to discriminate against anybody. My goal here is to lower our costs and incentivize people to pay us on time the lowest amount to allow us to operate efficiently and effectively. And right now, I don't think we're doing that on this particular invoicing system with the credit cards.
Could we do this? Could we return to this at another meeting? Maybe we could ask the staff to think about, Joan and Tom to think about various ways of covering the costs of the fees, if you have any ideas. And if you have a recommendation among them, tell us what it is, and we could reconsider it again. Does that make sense as a thing to do?
Yeah, I did ask Invoice Cloud if we could just take each customer's fee and pass it through directly to them, because every card is a different fee associated with it. And they said no, because we don't know what it's going to be until after it goes through our clearing company.
Yeah, and you kind of, when you're the customer and you're looking at it, you want to know, well, how much is it going to cost me to do it this way, and how much will it cost me
Right.
to do it that way? And if you can't know, you can't make a decision.
Maybe we can find out from the town how they came up with the 2.95 or 2.99%, or the 295 flat charge on their fee
So
structure.
I guess the question we're asking is, how can we reduce or cover the costs, recover from customers the costs of the processing of their bills? I guess, if people write checks, does it cost us to cash the checks?
It
Does
goes
somebody
through
send you a check?
lockbox.
What?
Yes, there's a fee associated with that as well. Nothing's
Okay.
free, Laura.
So there's a free associated with every way of collecting, except maybe, yes, probably cash. There's cash, we have to pay Joan to take it to the bank, so that doesn't make sense either.
I guess
So
another question for Invoice Cloud is
Yep.
why is it such a large differential between the cost of an ACH and a credit card transaction?
well, there's more people making money on the credit card transaction than there is on the
Yeah,
But
there's
it's
another party
it's
involved.
an Invoice Cloud
more middlemen.
charge.
Hmm. I think that's it, Laura. I agree with you.
Yeah, there's just more people dipping. Or
Well, it's
helping.
the credit card themselves charge that to the merchant.
Okay,
That's how they make a lot of their money.
Yeah.
right.
So the question is that we're asking the staff is, are there ways of recovering these costs from the customers who incur them? That would seem fair and appropriate. And right now, it's basically being covered in the customer charge, right? I mean, that's how we pay for all these administrative expenses, is via the customer charge.
Mhm. But how do
But
you
that's the
allocate
same for
that?
everybody.
I'm
It's
sorry?
not, yeah, so it's not the same for everybody. I mean, it's not the same per kilowatt hour purchased for sure. Um,
Well, the customer charges set price every month for everybody
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that gets residential rates.
yep.
I just think it's unfair that people that pay by ACH are subsidizing people who don't. And the people that don't are getting air miles or cash back.
Oh, it's the air miles. Yeah, I see the problem. Well, if you have thoughts about this, Mike, if you could, excuse me, communicate with Joan and Tom before the next meeting, throw your thoughts in to the pile and see if we can come up with some solutions to consider next time.
One thing Invoice
Sounds
Cloud
good.
did recommend is that if we're gonna pass through the cost to the consumer, that we should charge the same amount as the town. Which is the structure I just showed you. They said otherwise people are gonna be very confused if it's, $1.50 for the light plant, but it's $2.95 for the town.
Yeah, that
Well,
makes
now it's
sense.
nothing for the light plant and $2.95 for the town. So you know what? That's weird. Okay. So we will ask the staff if they have any thoughts about how to recover these costs from the people that incur them in a way that seems fair and appropriate, and we can consider that at another meeting. Is that a good solution for everybody?
Yeah, I think the only way we can do it is by charging them a fee.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be a percentage.
And so good idea to ask the town how they arrive at that particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good place to start for sure.
So it would be a percentage of their bill that would go.
Correct.
So it would be a credit card charge based on X multiplied by their dollar value of the bill.
Correct.
So somebody with $1,000 bill would be paying a lot more than somebody with a $200 bill.
Correct.
Okay.
But there would be a minimum fee.
Of
Right.
$2.95.
And a minimum fee,
Yeah.
And I
whatever it
think
is.
that I think that and it would be different obviously for an ACH. So I think that it does motivate me when I pay my real estate taxes not to put it on a credit card. And I think it would have that impact that you're looking for, Mike, I think.
Well,
No,
that might be a way around it. I mean, if you could say, okay, we're gonna charge you a fee, well, let's see how many people go to ACH. We can start with that.
that would be a good start.
Yeah, you don't want to make more than one change though. Kind of want to decide in advance what the right idea is and just
Well,
make.
we could advertise it as of January 1st. This is going to change and see if we can get people to convert before January 1st.
So
Give
have
them
a
some
sign-up
time to-
campaign first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could, but just for me, I'm not convinced we want to do this at all, so
Yeah,
to see
no,
the
no, yeah.
numbers before we make this.
It doesn't, it can be whatever, we could give them a few months, whatever that time period is to, again, we could do a campaign and if we
Okay.
decide to go that way.
Remind me, does the town have a way of retaining your bank information or do you have to put it in? I feel like you have to put it in every time. You can't just set it up and click a button and it's paid through your bank. I don't think they have that facility.
I don't
That's
know.
probably
That
just the
would be,
version of the software they're running.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know that we'd want to be holding on to people's bank information anyway.
Being PCI compliant, the restrictions are pretty stringent.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can set it up to your own bank
Yeah.
as an auto pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't do that, but you could, yeah.
Yeah. I guess the other question would be, if we decide to go this route, do we want to make any considerations for the income adjusted rates?
Yeah, you can waive the fee as part of the income adjusted rate.
And how do we do that on our system? Any suggestions? Because I don't know how to do that in our system. We
Okay,
can't do it.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
Do we have a way of doing a bill credit? And just set it up a bill credit every month, so they pay it, but they also get it back as a credit as part of qualifying each year. Or
No,
the,
that'll be
just
a
the drink
manual. That would have to be done manually to each account.
annually?
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
that doesn't make sense.
So that's a lot more work for the back
Yeah.
office.
We can think
Correct.
about that. We can get to the decision on what we want to do, and then we can maybe talk about how we compensate them or help them.
Okay. Brianna, yes.
In the meantime, would it be helpful if we did some sort of like, the whole thing confuses me, but would you want us to share with customers, like, did you know when you pay this way, it's more sustainable for Hingham Lights costs versus this way? Like, do you want us to look into that and to try publishing things to try to get people to just change their payment method on auto pay and things like that?
What an idealistic view of the world. Um, I think it will be more effective to provide a financial incentive.
Yeah.
Um,
That's fair.
okay, any other thoughts on this? And we'll return to this at another meeting. Okay, thanks very much. And the next item on the agenda is the general manager performance goals, which Tom sent out to us for our approval. Let me just want to bring it up for a minute so I can look at it. I did have a question. Let me first ask Tyler and Mike if you have comments or questions that you'd like to get into about this. If not, I'll just ask, there's a change from the last time we looked at this. There was an addition a request to develop a method to measure revenues from electrification. And I was just a little unclear about what we're looking for here. It's a report on increased revenue as a result of changing customers changing to electric technology. Is that what's being asked for?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Incentivizing or encouraging people to move to EVs and heat pumps, basically.
Right, but the request, though, in the general manager performance goals is just develop a method to measure revenues from
Yeah, so
electrification.
in 25, we're looking to, how do we measure it? And then once we have we figured out how to measure it, then implement strategies in 26 to increase participation and
I see.
revenues associated with it.
Right, and the next one in 2025 is market the Electrify Hingham program to increase revenues and participation. Okay, I understand that. Any other comments, questions, thoughts from the board? I guess not.
Nope.
Any comments or questions from the staff or members of the public about general manager goals? Well, if not, I'd entertain a motion to approve this set of general manager goals for the next 2 years.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Tyler?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Laura? Aye. Okay, great, thanks. All right, vote on Public Power Week proclamation and Public Power Week event. Over to you, Brianna, for this exciting initiative.
Great. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if we've voted on a proclamation in the past. I did in the latest draft change the date. So it from October 5th to 11th to October 4th to 11th, because we are hoping to kick off Public Power Week with a big community event. And that would probably be on Saturday, October 4th. So that's the tentative date. And that's why the new version that you received, it has that date just a day earlier. And the very first line we changed from, I think it said, whereas we the citizens, to whereas the citizens of Hingham. We've sent it over to Art as well, and so he's showing it to Tom Mayo. And after the board takes a vote on it, I can follow up with Art and try to get it on the select board's agenda. This is all kind of coming out of meme and the idea of wanting to celebrate public power more than we have in the past. A lot of people don't realize they live in a public power community, and we just want to celebrate the benefits that brings, and be proud of what we do.
So how's this going to be distributed throughout the town?
So aside from having the select board vote on it and our board vote on it, we'd put it on our website, and then we can promote it in conjunction with the event. I mostly have promotion ideas for the event itself. But we can also have it listed as an event in the town calendar. So it'll be a week-long thing that shows up if anybody looks at that. I believe that's how they promote their proclamations currently.
Right. But in addition, we would send it out through our various mechanisms.
Yes, I'd like to do an email blast talking about the public power event, but I think that the underlying idea of that is like, come celebrate Public Power Week with us. And then if I have the time to put it together, there might be some other virtual things people can participate in. In the past, we've done a virtual scavenger hunt and things like that for people. So if I have the time to have more activities, then it will be a more robust Public Power Week where people can kind of stay engaged.
Virtual scavenger hunt. I'm having a little trouble picturing that, but I can't wait to participate and find out what that is. Okay, any comments or questions? Tyler, Mike, other thoughts?
Looks really good. It looks really good. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, comments from the public? Questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the proclamation on the Public Power Week proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Mike?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Laura, aye. Let's go public power. Okay, the
Yay.
next item, sorry.
Yay.
Yeah, yay, public power. Yes, we're all for that. Next item on the agenda is to approve meeting minutes. Did you both have a chance to look at the meeting minutes for June 10th and July 8th?
Yes, let me check again.
Okay,
Yeah, I had no issues.
Yeah, they're fine.
okay, I had just one change that I'd like to make on the June 10th minutes on page 2 under general manager contract, where it says the board approved a 2-year contract renewal for general manager with most existing terms remaining unchanged. I think that we should add and setting the annual salary at $220,000, because this is our only legal record of having actually made that change. And I think we need to get that into the record.
They'll make that change.
There.
Okay. So accepting that change by acclamation, I guess. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes both of June 10th, 2025 and July 8th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Tyler?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Laura? Aye. Great, thank you. And we're on to the financials.
Yeah.
Are you seeing just one, or are you seeing the red in the background too?
we're seeing a sheet called June 2025 kilowatt hours, sheet 1.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, so kilowatt hour sales were a little lower in June. Our revenue, as a result, was lower. Our expenses were higher. We saw energy costs or power costs for that month higher. And we ended up with a net income of 288,000. Year to date, our net income is 2.35 million, 2.35 million. As a result of our year-to-date revenue, we do have some concerns about the 8%. So we're going to make some adjustments to the PCA and our energy charge starting in for the month of August. Joan, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I can go over that a little bit. So because of our fourth quarter rec revenue coming in $438,000 higher than we had anticipated, and we also applied for a solar refund of $380,000. That's $818,000 more we have to recognize before the end of the year. So because of that, I'm going to reduce the PCA, and I'm going to bring the PCA to 0 for the remainder of the year unless something else changes. The other change is our energy costs. Our energy costs have decreased. So we are going from 0.0923 to 0.0771 for our energy costs, starting with our August bills.
So when you so the solar rebate that you've applied for is for the canopy on the parking lot?
Correct.
Correct.
And that has to be recognized as revenue?
Yes.
Didn't think of that.
Mhm.
Seemed like free money. Okay. Any comments or questions from anyone, board, staff?
Tom, I have a question.
Yeah.
Obviously this year in June, we had a very extremely hot week.
Mm.
Last
Uh,
week of June, yeah, the 25th, I think it was. Was that
yeah.
yeah.
Overall, it looks like our kilowatt hours sold were down compared to both the last couple of years. But so I mean, the more kilowatt hours we sell, we charge for, and we make money on that.
Yeah.
But did we lose money because of that hot week? I'm just trying to explain the
Yeah,
negative $300,000.
there were some penalties on the Emwick plant and the Watson plant because of that. So I guess the balancing ratio was greater than 1. So even though those plants might have been producing at what they were supposed to be producing, there was a penalty because of that balancing ratio. Just the way
Okay,
it works.
I do not understand that.
Is this the capacity performance penalty?
Yeah.
Because, but you think they were performing as the contract states, but they still got a penalty? Why is that?
I guess so. These penalties, the paper performance penalties, have to be paid. So, and I don't know how the balancing ratio works, but I was told that that balancing ratio was greater than 1, and when that happens, the only way they have to collect the penalties, I guess, equitably, is to charge the generators, even though they can't, they're not committed to generating, that much, they still have to charge them a penalty.
So we have as produced contracts with the generators, and we're liable for those penalties. So we paid them.
Right.
So what is the balancing ratio a ratio between? Is it a ratio of demand versus availability of the assets that are supposed to kick in for capacity? Is that,
That I am not sure. I can talk to Dave.
do you know,
Kavanaugh.
Tyler?
I don't know the specific of the ratio, but the capacity pay per performance program is basically that the generators are qualified by the ISO to provide a certain level of capacity to the market. And when they can't do that because of some issue, is like they're down or I'm sure there are some qualifying issues, but for some reason they can't do it, then they're liable for penalties that they owe to the ISO.
Yeah.
But Tom said he thought that these two peaker units that were involved in produced according to contract. So I don't understand why we're paying fees,
And again, that it has to do with that balancing ratio.
whatever that is.
Whenever it goes greater than one, it's typically not greater than one. But in this event, it was greater than one. So if you were supposed to put out, 100 megawatts and you put out this says you should have put out 110, so you pay the 10, even though you're not committed to that or don't have the ability to do that. I don't get it. It's the way the market works, though.
Okay, yeah, terminally confusing.
Do we know how much we paid in penalties?
Uh, I don't. I can find that out.
If-
Which
I don't
was
remember off the top
Watson
of my
and
head.
which was the Emwick plant?
Watson and
The Watson, I understand, is being run very well and is doing a
Yeah.
real good job for us. I
Yeah,
know we only have 10% of that, but
the Emwick plant is Stony Brook, which it's an older plant. It takes a long time to start it up, and it has to run for a certain amount of time.
is that a gas unit
I believe that's gas and oil.
or it's dual fuel? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean it wasn't a surprise that it was hot during that
Oh yeah,
period.
yeah.
And I know we had demand response with Emwick going. I'm not sure how that affected, but as Tyler points out, it is three or four hot days that has a significant dent in our revenues and is clearly affecting our PCA. And I'm concerned of how often we use that PCA, and we keep bouncing it up or down seasonally. I would much rather see it being constant for a period of time, as in a whole year where you take into consideration the heating season and the cooling season, so that people that have higher usages in the winter because they've migrated to all electric heat pump systems are not unduly burdened with a PCA catch up that we seem to put on and off because of this 8%. This 8% seems to be a target that's constantly moving for us and is hard to predict. Again, I'd much rather see us as looking at this on a sort of annual basis rather than, this month it's this and next month it's that.
Yeah, I think we probably didn't adjust it as much in the past because we were retiring the RECs, right? We weren't recognizing that revenue.
As income, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head, Joan, what is the amount of our capital plant that the 8% is based on?
Not off the top of my head. Hold on, I might be able to tell you.
I'm just sort of wondering how much relief we're going to get from adding $100 million to our capital plant when we finish. That may raise the 8% by.
Well, 100 million times 8%.
Right.
We're adding, I want to say it's 69 million right now off the top of my head, but I don't have that number in front of me.
So in short, we will more than double what we're able to retain under that 8% rule when we finish this project. So that's good to know.
Correct. But we're also outlaying a lot of cash to do that.
I'm just saying that we will have a better ability to collect it without going over 8%. Right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments about the financials? Okay. Then then thank you very much. And next item is just updates, transmission line project, capital projects.
Yeah, so on the transmission line project, we got the second round of questions from the siting board yesterday. We had a meeting today to go through them and assign them. We have to have answers back to the siting board. I believe it's by September 3rd. So once we get through those, I'll send out the questions and answers to the board so you can review them. We'll be meeting with the siting board. I believe it's the end of September, beginning of October for the hearings, the next hearings on the project. And I'm not exactly sure what happens after the hearings, whether there'll be additional hearings after that or the siting board works on coming up with an approval. But
Do those hearings have a different focus from the ones that we already had, or is it just more of the same?
these hearings are more where they're more like a law case where the experts have to testify.
Hmm.
So some of the experts would be like Rob Shapiro, Tracy Adamski, Tom Converse, all our consultants, and including myself. So there'll be a number of days of sitting on hearings for that. I think it's either 4 or 5 days of hearings.
And questions will be directed at you from the board?
From the
siting
siting,
board?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a public element to this as well?
I would think there is. I can find out, but I believe there is, and I believe it's all recorded where it
I
can be
just wondered if
watched on their YouTube channel.
if it's much more technical, but they will also be inviting public comment as well.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Are those going to take place at HMLP, or are they going to be at a larger venue?
No, they're all virtual, is what I'm told.
They're all virtual.
Yeah. They used to be held in town, I guess, but they do them all virtually now.
By in town, you mean Boston?
Boston, correct.
Okay.
Downtown.
Okay. Any other questions about the transmission project? Okay. Anything else going on capital project wise?
Mark, you want to talk about the transmission
Yeah, the insulator changeouts. Yeah, so we've got a contractor on board, provided a notice to proceed. Looks like the loading's going to be coming down around September, so we're going to be scheduling a pre-construction meeting to kick that off. That's got some coordination with the MBTA and whatnot with it also. So looks like the timing will be good for us, and we just finalized the contract just yesterday, so we're in pretty good shape for loading to be able to get that done.
How long will that work take, Mark?
It's only it depends on, it's going to be limited with the MBTA, but like total construction, talking to the construction manager I brought on board, he's saying it looks like it's only 2 to 3 weeks type of work. They're going to handle it, with one line energizing, the other one out. So it's going to be a very interesting project to see.
But no one will notice.
Yeah, no, really, they won't. So the biggest limitation is going to be the trains of, how long can we be out there, or can we get out there and be off the tracks? And there's really only like 5 poles that are really going to be impactful on the rail. A lot of the other poles we can get at and be away from the encroachment of the train. So it'll be an interesting few weeks.
So will there be trains postponed, delayed, or canceled?
No, it shouldn't be. We typically will work with them with flaggers, and and they'll have us clear, to get away, and then there'll be a speed limitation as they come through the work zone. but
Okay.
they typically won't impact the rails, so
Okay.
we're just waiting to finalize that with the contractor and the Keolis, who operates in that corridor on the train, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
it'll be an
also have to
interesting
wait
few
for-
weeks.
Yeah, we have to wait for a permit okay from Eversource as we're taking out one of those lines.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We have a line that will have to be we can take out one line from where we are, but the other one will have to get some
Yeah,
closing
right.
on that line that'll remain energized while they do the work, so. It'll be good. Be good to get that done.
Then we continue to work on Pleasant Street. We've crews out there. That was delayed a little bit because of some other work we're doing, so we're back on that job, and we hope to have that done in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and the only other bigger job, Tom, is Elm Street. We have some Verizon that we've been waiting for some of their pole sets, but we've had some progress with them in the last couple of weeks. We've been requesting some pole replacements since probably about February, so we're hoping that doesn't impact us and we'll still be able to finish. It's only about 12 sections, so it shouldn't be too bad, but 5 of the pole sets are theirs, so could be a little hindrance, but we're still shooting to get that done.
They would never let you replace their poles with our pole, would they?
Yeah, it can do it
Those
on
poles are
emergency.
worth a lot of money to them. I know.
Yeah, we have all our poles are joint owned, but we have setting responsibilities, and we're probably about 90% of the pole sets. In an emergency situation, not really typically an issue, right? If we have customers out of power, but it's more of it's contractual language with the labor unions is where it becomes the issue, so we try not to disrupt their unions like we wouldn't want them to disrupt ours. So it's yeah, I can get, so we try to give them time and work with them because, sometimes they need us. A lot of times we're waiting on them, but so hope for the best. So it looks like it's moving in the right direction right now. So.
Okay, good. Anything else we need to be updated about?
Not that I can think of. I think we're
Okay.
good.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I think we're ready to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I think Tyler's going to second this in a second.
Second.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor, Tyler?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Laura? Aye. Thanks very much, everyone.